Opinion India-Canada ties. Can a new phone call reset a troubled relationship? On May 25, 2025, a significant yet cautiously optimistic moment unfolded in the India-Canada diplomacy. External Affairs Minister Drive S. Jaishankar and Canadian Foreign Minister Anita Anand held their first telephonic conversation, a symbolic and strategic attempt to thaw relations that had been frozen in diplomatic winter since 2023. So, what could this outreach mean for bilateral ties going forward diplomatically, economically, and geopolitically? Nan, the roots of the current diplomatic standoff trace back to September 2023, when then Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau alleged Indian involvement in the assassination of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a designated Khalistani separatist, in British Columbia. India vehemently denied the accusations, labeling them absurd and politically motivated. The fallout was swift and severe: diplomatic expulsions from both sides. A complete freeze on trade talks. Cancellation of high-level visits. Heightened tensions over pro-Khalistani activism in Canada. The damage was substantial, particularly for two nations with deep people-to-people ties, a burgeoning trade relationship, and strategic convergence in the Indo-Pacific. Nan, the political winds in Canada shifted in April 2025, when Mark Carney replaced Trudeau as Prime Minister. Carney, a former central banker with a globalist outlook, immediately signaled a desire to restore ties with India. The appointment of Anita Anand, a Canadian of Indian origin, as foreign minister further underlined a potential pivot in tone and approach. Both leaders have expressed interest in re-engagement. PM Modi congratulated Carney post-election. Jaishankar extended wishes to Anand on her appointment. Anand, in return, called her discussion with Jaishankar productive and focused on economic cooperation. Importantly, Anand is seen as a pragmatic and substantive leader. Her Tamil Nadu roots and prior experience as defense minister could be an asset in building trust with New Delhi. Nan and Anand, the main thrust of the dialogue centered on strengthening economic ties. Canada is eager to diversify its partnerships amid global economic volatility, and India, the fastest growing major economy, is an attractive partner. Trade, investment, technology, and renewable energy emerged as potential areas of cooperation. There is also hope to resume suspended negotiations on a comprehensive economic partnership agreement (CEPA). Nan, this was the first high-level contact since Carney took office, a sign that both countries are testing the waters for a thaw. Discussions reportedly included the possible return of High Commissioners. Dinesh Patnaik, India's envoy to Spain, is being considered for the role in Ottawa, a move that, if confirmed, would mark a formal reset. Nan and Canada is hosting the G7 summit in June 2025. An invitation to PM Modi to attend the outreach session could be an indicator of how seriously Ottawa intends to pursue reconciliation. If extended, it could mark India's return to multilateral diplomacy with the West after recent geopolitical tensions. If not, it may signal lingering hesitation or domestic political pressure in Canada. Nan and Anand, unlike Trudeau, who was perceived by India as sympathetic to pro-Khalistani voices, Carney does not carry the same baggage. His condemnation of the April 2025 Pahalgam terror attack attributed to Pakistan-backed militants was noted positively in New Delhi. Nan and Anita Anand is seen as a trusted, no-nonsense figure with Indian heritage and an appreciation of both Western democratic values and Indian sensitivities. That said, experts warn against over-optimism. Anand's presence helps, but policy change will be the true test. Nan and Canada is home to over 1.3 million people of Indian origin. More than 400,000 Indian students study in Canadian institutions. Their presence represents a strong socio-economic bridge but also a source of friction due to pro-Khalistani activism among a minority. Nan and Anand, despite the leadership change, the issue of Khalistani separatism continues to cast a long shadow. India remains firm in its demand for Canadian action against what it views as anti-India forces operating under the guise of free speech. Nan and India continues to reject Canada's claims on Nijjar's killing, pointing to the absence of publicly shared evidence. Trust will be hard to rebuild unless both sides find a way to either close or move past the episode diplomatically. Nan and Carney's Liberal Party still depends on diaspora votes. The defeat of Jagmeet Singh's New Democratic Party, seen in India as Khalistan sympathetic, might ease pressures, but domestic sensitivities around free speech, religious identity, and minority rights remain potent. Nan and India's non-alignment and strategic autonomy sometimes sit uncomfortably with Canada's tight-knit G7 and NATO affiliations. Add to that India's recent hardline posturing after the Pahalgam attack, and divergences in diplomatic style and strategic priorities may widen. Nan, the May 25 conversation isn't a breakthrough, but it's a breakthrough moment. What comes next? The G7 outreach, the reinstatement of envoys, the handling of the Khalistan issue will define whether the reset has legs or falls flat. If handled with maturity and mutual respect, the India-Canada relationship could once again become a strong pillar in the Indo-Pacific strategic architecture. Both economies stand to gain. So does global diplomacy, particularly at a time when democratic consensus is fraying under the strain of extremism, misinformation, and great power rivalry. Diplomacy often turns on symbolic gestures, a phone call here, a handshake there. But real resets require more tough conversations, policy shifts, and mutual concessions. Swipe left for next video. The Jaishankar Anand call is the first step towards reopening that door. Whether it leads to genuine reconciliation or remains a political formality depends on the choices both nations make in the weeks ahead. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect News 18's views. Latest blogs.